In 5, 4, 3,
2.
1.
Blast off?
Blast off? Oh, there's my dog. Welcome to the podcast where a guy that watches movies discusses movies with a guy that doesn't even watch any movies.
Is that still my title at this point? How many movies have we watched?
I don't know. I lost count. I actually lost count.
I gotta add like the suffix at unless it's for a podcast. But the guy that doesn't even watch movies unless he's reviewing them.
Yeah. But we watched a movie tonight.
The new Candyman.
Candyman.
What? That's 2. we gotta keep a count.
That's 2 right there.
We're in the middle
We got
of the
3
woods
more
next
for
to
the rest of the cast. What fuck?
He who
Speaking
shall
of
not
fuck.
be named.
Speaking of fucked, do you have a timer? Are you going to tend to this too? Okay. Cool.
Hell yeah.
That's 2
Thank you,
yeses.
Jamie.
I like that.
Thank you, Jamie.
So is the third question I ask automatically a yes no matter what?
Tic-tac-toe 3 in a row.
Can I have $100? Yes.
Where were we?
We saw a movie, 2 hours ago?
Ish, yeah.
We left probably an hour and a half ago.
Yeah,
Together this time. Because we saw it.
This was one of the first times in a while, actually.
We
A lot of
haven't
them
in a
we've been
while. We
watching.
haven't been watching them in a while together, which is sad.
It also works a little
So
bit. 'cause
sad.
It's like you have to set like 5 to 6 hours aside to watch a film together and then talk about it.
Sometimes we need like a day where we
Yeah.
don't have much planned in the day, so it can't be Thursdays. I mean, Fridays aren't bad.
I don't
not
think
terrible.
they're bad for
They're
me
not
either.
terrible. And like Sundays. I like Sundays.
Although now, is there a certain day that movies release, like in theaters? Like,
Thursdays.
it's Thursdays?
So Friday's the main day, but they do a couple sneak peek.
So Friday
ones.
might actually
So
be
Friday.
the most optimal so that we can
Yeah,
get new
so we
ones
can
in
see
the day
what are
of.
we going to see next? Malignant.
Yeah, Malignant comes out in 4 days, I believe.
You don't know anything about the director. This guy is like the horror man.
Who is he?
His name's James Wan.
What else has he done?
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring? I've heard the name. Did we watch it?
Insidious. No, we
I
haven't.
think my
seen it yet.
mom watched both of those.
Insidious. Saw. He did
I've
the
heard of
first
that
Saw.
one.
He did the first Saw. I think he has some others, but I can't. Dead Silence is another one. It's about dummies. It's pretty cool.
Mhm. So this guy is well renowned.
But he does other stuff other than horror. He directed the fucking Aquaman movie.
I didn't see that. Was that newer? That
I didn't
feels
watch it
newer.
either. It's not like
I feel
old.
like did it exist within the time that I've had Regal Unlimited?
It existed, but it didn't come out at that time. Came out like a year before. A year before COVID.
It's
You're
out
a
of-
COVID Regal guy.
Yeah,
Which is fine because most people left the theater during COVID. You went in. But getting sidetracked, we watched what? We can't
I
say
can't
it.
say
We
it.
can't
You
say it.
Rewind if you missed it.
Right. Candyman. Oh,
2 more.
what do you say? Shh. Don't say that.
Yeah,
what
I
she
did- she
Don't
clapped
say
too.
that.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh, man, this movie.
Where do we begin with it?
Oh, man. I'm going to start off with saying I love the original one.
And
But
I'll
it's not
start
a
off-
5 out of 5. I
I-
said it was. We did this before. We did this podcast before. I just didn't like it. But I said it was my top 5. I don't know if that's still true.
That's one
I
cool
was
thing
thinking
about the
about
fact
it.
we had a little test run is that you get to think about the things you
The
said
things
and
you
see
said
if they
in the
hold
remake.
true. Yeah.
This is the revised edition.
Candyman podcast too. Oh, we have one more time and we
One
die.
more time, we're fucked. Y'all gonna watch us get murdered on campfire. Speaking of campfire, there's a little fire right there. This is just a little one. Ooh, she got heart shirt on right now. She got Freddy on. You gotta see Freddy, man. You gotta see Freddy.
Isn't
baby.
there a new one coming out?
No, there's a new Halloween coming out. Yeah,
What? That's Jason, right?
that's Michael, dog. He's
That-
like,
wh-
oh, that's Jason.
Why do they all have basic white names?
Because they're all basic and white.
Like no one has like any cool unique names.
Oh,
they just murder 'em.
Chucky.
I guess
Kind
kinda.
of basic though. It's Charles. Charles Lee Ray.
Charles Spitzer.
They named Chucky after 3 different serial killers. I forget who Charles is, but Ray. I don't remember them. I don't remember.
like real life ones.
Yeah.
That's kind of creative,
Yeah,
actually. I'll give them that one.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the reason why we're here.
Candyman. I said it the 5th. We're done.
I will start off saying that this movie was beautifully shot.
There were a lot of cool things. When we rewatched the movie, that phrase that made me think of something I noticed. The first time I was wondering why towards the beginning when the movie's opening up,
right,
why they shoot it from like kind of like a ground's eye view going
That is
up,
kind of weird that they did that. I know why they did the credits reverse, because you're looking into a mirror, so everything's reversed.
I thought the reasoning, or my assumption on the reasoning for why they opened the movie that way was to like highlight what that area has become. Like,
the high rise,
how tall the buildings are,
condos.
And stuff.
Yeah,
and
that could have been it.
They eventually went in to break down that the area used to not be that way. And
yeah,
so,
in the first one, you really see what the area was. You see at least some of it, because in the first one, Helen lives in one of the ones they turned into a luxury apartment, but there's still parts of something green, right?
I forget its name, but it's green something.
Bermuda.
Cabrina Green?
Cabrini
Green.
Where it is now gone. All that's gone now. So it's like a real place. So it's like kind of like, that's kind of like cool that they kind of like took something that's actually going on and then built from it.
Like built a film around it.
Yeah, because they changed it over time. Because in '92, it looked worse. It wasn't as many luxury condos, but it was happening at the time.
That is kind of really neat.
It is cool.
They didn't even have to upgrade their set.
No, I mean they had to get another art museum. But no, Chicago looks good in the movie, man. It looks fucking good. Being a photographer, I really admire the cinematography here, where she frames, Nia DaCosta, the director, she frames every shot almost perfectly. Like, it's a real beautifully shot movie. And I really loved that.
It's
and
cool
that's why Marvel just hired her to be a director in their next movie.
It's a beautiful movie, and it's like a movie based around art. Also.
Yeah, so it's
kind
of a pun. Not really a pun. It's just an artiste movie.
It would have sucked if it was not very artistic yet framed around art. How are you creating something that you barely understand? But they showed an understanding of art itself.
You know, I wasn't going to talk. I didn't talk about this the first time because I didn't really take notes, and it was a while. Like, I like watching it and then reviewing it right after I watch it, and sometimes I don't do that. I just know it because I've seen it so many times, so I just talk about it. This time we watched it and then came here and did it. What quote I really like that her brother's what's his name?
I forget his name.
Started with a T. Tony?
Troy.
Troy. Love Troy. But I just
he's
burped
a
in
really
the mic.
well done character. His boyfriend kind of looks like Lil Dicky.
He does a little bit. He looks like a betterly groomed Lil Dicky, like a shorter, betterly groomed. Like, he doesn't look homeless. Sorry, Lil Dicky, I love you. He's a good artist.
I like Lil Dicky.
Him too.
He should have been that person though in that role. If I made this movie, I'd give the
I can see that. But the quote a lot of quotes by Troy that I liked. He said, "It's not only the inside that counts."
Yeah.
Do you know why why I like that so much and why I think he said it? Because the whole "it's not just the outside that counts" is so cliche now that people actually think, hey, it's not just your looks, to the point where we forgot about that it is a little bit. It is a little bit looks where people. So he said, "It's not just the inside that counts." I really like that. When I saw that, I was like, that's kind of funny.
A neat play on words.
It was kind of like a play on the whole thing. Play on cliche and words at the same time. Mm-hmm. And he was sticking his ass out for his boyfriend. I'll do it for you. Just kidding. I don't have an ass.
On camera.
And also a funny part, so the first scene, I wanted to do it the way we usually do podcasts, because with Fear Street, and then we did Candyman right after it, our first take of Candyman. We just kind of started talking about the movies. I like how sometimes,
we take
most
a
of the times,
structured approach.
We basically sum up the movie scene by scene by scene, talk about what we like, and then wrap it up. But the first scene, one of the first scenes where Troy starts going, "Y'all want to hear a scary story?" I like that Brianna's the only smart one in the group that says, "Hell no." She's like, "Nah, I'm good."
And then when he starts going, she's like, I voted no.
Yeah, she's like, "I said no, remember?" And then when he's in the crib afterwards, he tells her to say it. And then he says it 4 times. She said, "You say that first one, I'm going to fuck you up." She's the only smart one that's telling everyone not to say this shit in the mirror. I feel like she's the only person in this movie that's seen a horror movie before.
Yeah.
She knows, you shouldn't tell a scary story. 1. 2, you probably shouldn't say Candyman a 5th time. I don't know what the hell my dog's doing right now. Look at it.
Doesn't.
All right. But I just thought that was funny that Brianna, well, that's her character's name. I like that she
Glad you know that.
She was like
I don't know
meta.
names.
Well, I didn't. It took me this time. Like I wrote it down.
But she was the only one that seemed sensical, which is weird because it's like almost not actually sense. Like being afraid to say it if it doesn't exist, if it's real life, it's kind of dumb to be afraid to say Candyman 5 times. But in the context of a film, when you're in a film, it's like pretty stupid to do things that could lead to horrific events like unfolding, you know?
Oh yeah, totally.
So she's like smart, but in a stupid way. Where if
Kinda.
that was real life, you'd be like, dude, come on,
you're dumb. But
yeah,
like for some reason, she knows she's in a horror movie right now.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about the story he told? Like the first story of Helen.
At first,
because that's the first movie. That's he's literally he's telling a version of the first movie.
That stick is giving me anxiety. I'm pushing it in real quick.
Pushing in, baby. Oh yeah, that's sexy.
I felt like what's it called? Or the story was
the
like
audio version of this is gonna be weird. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck are they?"
Oh yeah,
with?
we're at a fire, by the way.
Yeah,
for those
if you
that
haven't
aren't
noticed.
watching. Well, they definitely still haven't noticed. They don't see shit.
Yeah,
but
the audio heads.
I felt like the story. The first time I watched it, I just took that as the truth. Like, it seemed like that's just how it happened. But as we watched it further, I like questioned the authenticity of the story.
Good.
Like that could have just been.
It was like what it was perceived as. But if you watch the first movie, that's not how it went down, bro.
Yeah, it's like there's a quote that I remember from I think it was like when I was in school I heard this, where it's like history is just his story. It's just
a
version
story
told by the winner.
Yeah, that's a Napoleon.
Really?
Yeah, that's a Napoleon quote. History. It's actually what it is history is written by the victors.
Something
like
that.
that. Something like that. But so you at first, when you first saw it, you thought they were just telling a story, but now that you watched it a second time, you can see where it was.
Yeah, after hearing
after seeing the
I don't know if I'm
movie.
supposed to spoil it as we go on or not, but there's a part in the movie that indicates the story went otherwise from a source that, based on the story's context, seems reputable.
New York Times, that's the source.
No, his mama.
His mama got more info on urban legends than the fucking media does.
She's part of an urban legend.
She's part of it. So who else is part of it? William Burt.
Yeah.
Or he isn't really a part. At first, you don't think he's a part of it. You just think he's lived in the neighborhood so long. He owned the laundromat. Yeah. He's one of those characters that's like.
Well, you get shown
like a wise motherfucker that's chilling in the
You get shown in the very, very beginning that he's on to something. Because I believe one of the first scenes was him as a child seeing not Candyman, but the old man before he gets beat the fuck up. Yeah.
Thurman Sherman.
Yeah.
The Candyman. Which it's cool that this Candyman, there's actually candy. Because in the first one, we don't really know why he's called Candyman. And there's no context at all. But in this one, this version of Candyman actually has some candy origin to it, which he's not even the first one. He's like 1977 it was the year.
Yeah, and the first one was 1890, like right?
Yeah, Tony Todd,
so there's probably 4 to 5 people in between those two.
Tony Todd, baby.
One thing that I kind of wish we had to film and could rewind right now is to count the amount of portraits that the protagonist, what was his name?
Anthony.
The amount of portraits that Anthony drew. He was drawing like headshots of what appeared to be all of the Candymen of the past.
I loved those. I want one.
I wish I counted them.
I want the Tony Todd one, but that one's probably expensive. There's 5. We in the audience has 5. I said it. But she said 5. But we're skipping. We're skipping a lot.
Yeah. I wish I knew exactly how many there were.
But I think the story that he tells originally is the depicted story without Candyman involved. Like there's like a sane perspective without Candyman involved of what went down.
Kind of like the police story. Basically,
yeah, because Candyman's kind of a supernatural aspect. So if you don't believe it, you're not going to tell it that way.
But even then, if you didn't believe Candyman, there are still probably interpretations that would be different with where Helen isn't the perpetrator.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's his mom's. Well, his mom said it was Candyman too.
Yeah, but like
then she turns into Candyman, which they don't talk about in this one, that a white woman is Candyman at some point. That's like forgotten in this one.
I didn't know that she was.
She does turn into Candyman. in the first one.
She's not a man.
So mankind.
Yeah.
It's kind of like non-binary. But so William Burke,
Willie boy.
we meet him in the
one of the first
he's
scenes
just
we meet
vibing.
him. We meet him in the very first scene of the film, I believe, because he's doing the puppets.
Oh yeah, that's like when he's younger. It's like a flashback.
Yeah,
but we don't know it's him.
Yeah,
but we get old William Burke, where he's like researching. He's doing what Helen was doing, taking pictures of the area, scoping out.
Wait, that was Anthony.
I know, but Helen does it in the beginning too. She does the same thing.
Oh,
but that's what they tell. They say that in the story. Even William Burke says she was looking for Candyman. I said she found him.
I see.
I like his voice.
He has a beautiful voice.
He almost has a good as good voice as Tony Todd. I ain't gonna say he's Tony Todd level because Tony Todd's the GOAT, but he could have been a Candyman. Because can you tell at the end where the deep voice, the deep powerful voice in Candyman? They only did that once in this film, which pisses me off. But we'll get to that. But he does have a great voice, and he could have been a Candyman. I feel like he's kind of a sloucher though. If he stood up straight and was a little bit bigger build, I feel like he could be a Candyman.
That kind of reminds me of one thing I noticed as Anthony was transitioning more towards a Candyman like being. He became a lot more stiff in his movement.
Yeah, that's because it looked like some beehive was taking over his fucking body, man.
He used to be really.
That's some body horror, man. That shit looked bad. That shit looked
really
like a fucking rotisserie
that was just
chicken.
On his arm at first, though, but it's still he didn't move with he almost had a certain pep to his step.
Yeah.
Whereas the more he became enthralled with this Candyman story, he was just stiff and moving like a robot almost.
True. Like he was deteriorating.
And I feel like that's a Candyman trait. This is going a little ahead too, but the scene where he sees himself in the mirror as Candy Boy, that's what we should have said to avoid saying the name 5 times.
Candy Boy.
But the reflection he sees is very stiff while he's still very lucid. And it was just kind of interesting to see him slowly become that, in his movements.
Right.
You see it down to the bone.
Bad to the bone.
Man, Candy Boy to the bone.
Have you heard that song?
Probably. Probably copyrighted. Fucking hell.
I'm sorry. Fair use.
You just took away our 8
just
cents,
kidding.
you asshole.
But when we first meet him, he starts telling the story. He's like, I say she found him, and tells everything, and he's kind of the main culprit in the urban legend because he actually had firsthand experience with one of the Candymen. Well, which is what is weird about it. Which is weird because they start playing on Candyman in general because when he introduces Sherman as Candyman, he says, who Candyman is to me is Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they play on how Candyman isn't real at the same time to other people. He's just used as this way of explaining social injustice. And
do you think that William guy... Do you think he did that on purpose to push Anthony towards discovering the truth?
I don't know.
Because this
is a confusing fucking movie. So I don't really know.
The first watch through, I thought I got it. The second time, I had 12 more questions minimum than the first time. But that's what I began to think is that maybe he was misleading Anthony so that Anthony had to search for more information.
Do you think he knew who Anthony was when he first talked to him?
Maybe not.
I think over time, because it seemed like he spoke to Candyman, because he eventually abducts this motherfucker.
You think that he's part of the hive?
I don't know,
but not part of the hive in the sense that he's a Candyman.
He does say that
he is wrapped into the Candyman militia, I guess.
So then we find out Anthony is. We know Anthony is an artist, but we see him at work. And he starts getting obsessed, and he doesn't know why.
He just feels attached.
He feels attached to this project, and he doesn't know why, which we find out why. But when he displays his Candyman piece, the art critic goes ham on his fucking work.
Yeah. She kind of roasted it, and then...
She fucking gave him the fucking... She was like, you should just leave, dude. She went ham on him.
The one part I remember, I think they intentionally built it to sound like this. It sounded like she was about to be racist as hell.
They meant to do that.
Yeah, when she was like, "You're
that.
kind," and then he's like, "My what?"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Artists."
Artists.
Which that I think is a very extremely hot take of hers that I definitely don't agree with.
Do you think she did that on purpose? Not like the writer in the film, because they obviously did that on purpose. But
the character,
the
tried
character,
to get him
do you
to
think
believe
the character,
one thing and then hit him with another?
Yeah,
possibly. Honestly.
Get some like fumes out of him.
Yeah, like just like shock him a little bit.
Yeah,
but I thought it was a really bold claim for those of you that haven't watched it for some reason. She basically said that artists were the reason why an area would be like ghetto, I guess.
Disenfranchised.
Yeah,
because they want cheap rent so that they don't have to get a real job.
Which, like, I first and foremost don't think that art is not a real job. I feel like it's the opposite of the fact. I don't think that a soul-crushing job where you work for someone else should be the definition of a real job.
Yes, let's say this. I had this discussion today, actually.
A real job is creating, like, and
because I am actually technically a artiste. I call myself a freelance photographer.
I would consider like anything like creation is art.
Create content.
This is like a weird take on it, but I almost think of like religion in the sense a lot of the times where like the biblical version of God is a creator, whether like you believe in it or not, and almost every religious like document, every version of God is a creator.
Right.
And so why God isn't someone that works for someone else, so why would it be considered the correct thing to a majority of people that exist on this planet to work for someone else and to not create? Like,
right.
Creating is kind of what I think humans are put on this earth to do. Like, our creation is the first thing that happens. We're created, and then I feel like we're meant to continue to create. And this lady kind of just like bashed that entire thing. Yeah.
Which that's her job though, to critique that.
That was crazy.
That's
too.
Weird.
Like, her job's not. You look at art that someone
without
else
those
created.
people, you're unemployed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And like, I would call that an art too. Like right now, what we're doing is an art form where we create art out of our opinions on art.
It is. We're kind of critiques. We're amateur critiques.
Yeah, but imagine us being like, fuck everyone that's ever made or participated in a movie. What you do is nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be fucked. They work hard.
Yeah, we're sitting here doing podcasts, talking about it for hours.
That'd be dumb
week.
And hypocritical of us.
Yeah, that lady was wild. But we could definitely move on to that point now that I got my fumes.
I like that. I like that little rant.
That lady pissed me off with that one.
But I'm reading my notes. I'm just saying, after that, I was so happy when Clyde and his, I don't know, weird fucking girlfriend that tried too hard to be weird, but in reality she was basic as fuck.
I thought she was sexy. That's the word I would use to describe her. Yeah.
Really?
She would have got it right before.
You're a petite boy, aren't you?
Once she started saying Candyman,
you're a petite
I would have
boy.
been out. And
You're
she looked a little
boy.
scene. I like scene girls.
You like scene girls?
Yeah.
Scene's out, dude. It's coming back, though.
I don't think it ever left. Not my heart.
You don't think it ever left your heart?
Yeah.
But I was glad when they died. I hated them.
They were kind of assholes.
They were cringe as fuck.
Is she his apprentice? I think it sounded like.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like a intern. I think the word
guess
was used.
So. I didn't really
him.
think of it. I thought they were just fucking.
So Anthony, when he left, he had that little one-liner where the guy was like, he didn't come up with that on the spot. He rehearsed it, and the one-liner was something about I think it was about like morning after pills for all of his
intern.
Yeah, something like that.
And he's like, you actually nailed that on the head.
Yeah, and then,
why would you admit something like that? You're fucking dumb.
And then she said something that I think was indicating that she was on a form of birth control, but I don't remember what it was afterward. She was like, "Don't worry, I'm on it." And he's like, "Ah," and he had his little
like
meltdown.
That does prove that like you're only getting interns for sex.
Yeah, that seems like an art critic thing to do for some reason. I don't know why. Like, that's probably just a stereotype or something, but that seems like that's a profession I could see them fucking the interns in most.
Yeah. But after that, they get brutally murdered before they fuck. That's how he says it. We can fuck.
Yeah, dude, he was very, like, unsmooth. I feel like I would have went dry.
Hold on. Let's pause real quick. Hey. What? Is it not 30 minutes yet?
No, you have 4 minutes left.
Okay. Damn, Tommy just said pause for nothing.
Okay, well, I can just edit this out.
Yeah, I said that I would have went dry. That's the last thing I said. Unpause.
Okay. You would have went. Your dick would have been soft.
If I were her, I would have been like the opposite of moist after he just like.
I don't think she cared.
Do you think that?
She's the type of girl that doesn't.
Do you think
care.
she was in it for like more than like sex or relation? Like, do you think that her
So
being
that
an
she's
intern,
legitimately trying to be an art critic? Yeah.
or yeah, like that she just wanted to be in a higher position of power and was like
Yeah,
gonna sleep
possibly.
with him to get to it?
Yeah, and won't.
Yeah, because she's dead.
Well, yeah, she got her fucking throat slit. Is this real?
I wonder if that's his.
Is this
thing.
real? I was like, yeah, it is. You're next, bro. I was so glad when they died, man. I was like,
this is the
God
first
damn.
kill scene, and one thing that I thought was very cool was that you don't see Candyman unless you're looking through a mirror.
That is really fucking cool.
It made for a lot of really cool shots too. Where
Yeah,
you
it
get to
did.
watch like the dude being held up by the hook, but you don't see him or the hook. You just see like his body floating and being like,
let the bodies hit the.
copyright number 2. There goes another 8 cents.
Fuck it. We got like 2, so it's all right. Sue us, bitch. We ain't got no money. But
if you ain't got no money, take your
broke ass home.
Copyright 3. Get copyright.
I was just really
strikes
happy. I
5
was
times.
cheering in my head when those motherfuckers died. What about you?
I
Did
was
you-
kind of hyped for it. They were assholes.
Yeah, they sucked. They were corny too. Their dialogue was corny. All the art people, other than Brianna, were like their dialogue was kind of shit.
Do you think that was on purpose, or like
It might have
they
been. I
just
feel like
tried
it
to
might
write
have
good
been. Like they
dialogue?
always talked about what they were thinking, like the whole time. They talked a little too much.
They don't have a filter?
I think that
really?
was a little bit on purpose, though. But
Who was the other critic that kind of shit on him, that shit on Anthony, that started it all? We see him in a later scene too, so I was wondering his relation.
I forget his name. The dude,
Yeah, I don't remember exactly
like the
what he
humble
said.
dude. He's tall.
Yeah, and he was like, he said something about him being glad that the artwork was hidden away.
in storage.
Yeah,
or
like
some
who is
shit.
that guy? Because we see him later too.
I know he worked for them. Like he was some kind of art dude.
but it's
I'll
never
call
like
him art
deeply
dude.
explained who he is.
No, it wasn't at all.
which was kind of sus.
It was sus.
Like I want to know who he is so that I can
you want his
dislike him.
backstory?
Yeah.
You want all the origin story?
At least a little bit. Like, at least give the dude a name. I don't even think he had a name.
And then they're
An
on the
occupation?
news. They're on the news. Name and occupation. You're a fucking idiot. But they're on the news, and
Yeah, the deaths are.
yeah.
But they said his name.
Yeah, he got some fucking bad press is good press, baby.
All publicity is
Yep.
good publicity.
He got bad press is good press.
Yeah, so Anthony's
Happy
artwork
he's
was
smiling,
yeah.
dude. He's straight grinning.
his artwork was mentioned when they were talking about the kill.
Right.
Which changed the art critic's mind a little bit. She got a little into it after that.
Yeah, and then yeah. I was gonna get there next, but then you see his girl and dude and her brother just staring at him like he's some kind of sociopathic motherfucker.
But they did say his name on the news. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like,
bad
"They
press
said
is
it."
good press.
At first, when he said, they said it, I was like maybe thinking
Said
that
my
he-
name, like
he
kind
thought
of
that
played
they
on
said
Candyman.
Candyman. I thought that he thought that the two said Candyman. That's how they died. But what he was more after the second time he smiles. He's like, they said it.
Yep.
I realized that he
They
was
said
like,
my name.
They said Anthony on the news, and then they said the name of his artwork.
They said my name. It was a kind of a good thing because like the say my name thing was just kind of
Yeah, it was,
kind of a good.
It was pretty interesting.
punny.
And then is it directly the next scene that he goes to
Her crib. I mean, there's some context where he gets a phone
Oh, yeah,
call.
one-
He's painting, and then it gets a phone
One
call.
other thing that I think we learned right after the bit where they said his name on the news was we learned that his girlfriend, what was her name again?
Brianna.
Brianna's father, we see the scene where he fucking killed himself.
Oh yeah.
Which I think this man does not get parent of the year. He definitely gets worst parent of the
That was
year.
fucked.
He's sitting in the windowsill as about
Not
to
only
jump.
does she have to see him jump, but he also rubs it in kind of.
He's like, "Did you know that your dad can fly?"
So it kind of made her focus on what he was doing.
And then
Like she had
kills
to-
himself.
Yeah.
Like she's whoa, my dad can fly. Let's watch this.
Right.
And then he splats on the ground.
Yep. That flashback was kind of insane.
That shit was kind of just like, that was one of the scariest parts to me. And it wasn't like a physically like you see it and you jump.
It was a
kinda
different
scare,
kind of
but
scare. It's like a
it's
psychological
demented,
scare.
yeah,
It's kind of, like that's what I like about this movie. It has all aspects of horror. It has body horror with his hand, Like, because you hear
that
it
made me
crunch.
cringe a
yeah,
lot.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
when
yeah,
he was
yeah.
picking at
The
it,
body horror, you got the
glass in his
gore.
arm.
I wish there was more gore, but you got the gore, you got the psychological horror, you got all aspects of horror.
You didn't get a
this.
lot of we just watched Fear Street, talked about that one recently. They had more like gruesome kills that you saw in this, and
They
in comparison, it was
they
more
cut
of
in a good way. I'm not saying that they don't cut in a good way, but that's not a Candyman thing. That's Candyman's a gory, like, take a hook to your sternum and rip up type of thing.
We saw some kills like that.
Yeah, there were some, maybe one or two more. I would have been okay.
Mm-hmm. There was some really cool like camera work that I enjoyed. We haven't got to the part yet, but the one kill in the bathroom when the girls got down on the ground, see the mirror from
that
the
was
ground,
awesome.
and all that blood, like a little bit of blood drips.
I'm not saying that wasn't a bad scene. It just was a misplaced scene. I think that was a trailer scene. Like, they kind of did that scene for the trailers, and like, because the scene is that's the only scene in the movie that didn't need to be in the movie.
I am like kind of impartial on it. I don't know if it technically furthered the plot, because I feel like they needed one more murder to occur to tie it to Anthony. Because I believe the cops eventually tie it to Anthony and his artwork.
Because she was there.
Yeah, and she was at the exhibit, and the paper was
his paper.
Yeah, she had the paper that he handed out at the exhibit, and also the name was written in blood on the mirror. Yeah. So there was a lot to kind of tie it to what the authorities would believe would be Anthony. And then also something that I thought was important, I guess, with that scene being in the movie still, was that she was one of the only people that really stopped and admired his artwork and like kept that paper and then went and tried it at home, where a lot of people didn't really look at his artwork and like the critique shit on his art. But this girl, who's not an art critique, who's just a high school student, found something that drew her to this art a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool.
That was kind of cool.
It sucks that the one
I mean, they died for it, but that wasn't cool. But so after these deaths, how does this art critic feel about his work now?
He eventually thinks that he brought back Candyman.
No, what does the art critic think about his work?
The critic. Critic, yeah. She kind of got into the idea, I think, just because of the storyline that went with it.
I feel like the press, the storyline, the hype, it turned into hype.
He was kind of savage. He's like, if you like the work so much, if you want to be a part of it, say it.
Say his name.
She's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And he's like, perfect time as any.
Dude, he's a good actor.
He did do well.
Yeah, he did great. He shined in this, because you could tell that like this is a little bit, because he's in a show called Lovecraft Country. It just got canceled, but it's called Lovecraft Country, and apparently he does really well in the show. And a lot of people are saying that this is kind of like not beneath him, but like acting wise is like he's done
bigger roles. So
not bigger. I wouldn't say bigger roles, but how do you say it? More difficult roles. And he does very well. Brianna does well too. She does well to the point where they look like a legit couple.
Yeah,
like they do. Like, it's great.
Like, you could swear they knew each other.
Job. But that aside, they like his work now, and I think it's a little sus that like basically what I'm kind of skipping. I should have said this earlier, but it looks like that they're trying to capitalize on on black culture, like kind of like the struggle of black culture. Yeah, they were trying to capitalize it. So, like, in other words, appropriate black culture for profit.
Mm-hmm.
And which turns Anthony, because Anthony was kind of fulfilling that need. He was really worried about that need before he got into this. So he turned into kind of a culture appropriator, to where he went to another neighborhood he didn't think he was from and wanted to like put that struggle into profit as well, because he has to make money too.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the cycle.
I think that's a little cycle, which William keeps using all this stuff as metaphors for laundry, because that's what he does all fucking day. But he kept talking about the cycles, and the more things change, the more they stay the same type shit.
Which is really like the phrase that it's going to echo through time. History repeats.
It
really does.
Not like you can't avoid it.
Even if you research
when you try really hard to avoid it, it just comes back. It's kind of like a horror movie in itself, like a real life horror. But
life is just a horror movie.
I like when they play on the reflections.
I thought it was a really neat
They did
concept
it.
too.
I liked the part where the art critic, when he goes to the bathroom, because she invites him to his house. That's where we were, and when he looks in, you don't see Anthony, you see Candyman.
Yeah.
So
Is
he Candyman at this point? Did he leave that house before she died, or did he kill her? That the reflection kind of plays, the whole idea of the reflection kind of plays on that also.
I didn't even think about
That's
it. That's
how I thought about it
honestly,
the first time I saw it. I was just like, because I've seen the first one, how you could interpret it as Helen going crazy, or I don't want to spoil it for you, but she goes crazy and goes on this crazy mass murdering spree and blames it on Candyman, or is there a Candyman? And I like that they played on that, because he could have hallucinated that reflection, and he could have left, and he could have murdered her and then bounced. It was a little sketch when he went to that dinner.
Yeah,
he was just like,
that's a really cool way to interpret it. I think that I definitely could see it being that way.
Yeah,
that
totally.
Seems like a really cool way to.
Then he fucking started picking at his nasty ass arm again at the dinner table, bro. The one lady was like, "Ugh."
Yeah, I don't remember her exact expression.
Yeah, but she was like,
pleasant.
she was like, "That's not cool, bro. You should go to a fucking doctor."
Yeah,
at the fucking dinner table. And the like I said during the first try, we tried this cast, when he said he's having a dream and she wakes up and he's just standing near the mirror like a fucking weirdo, and she's like, "Honey, Anthony, what's up?" "I had a bad dream." She's like, "Me too. What was yours about?" And he came out of like a trance state. It seemed like he was like, "I'll be out in a second."
And
when he
closed
it, his reflection didn't move, but I
didn't notice that.
The second time you didn't look for it again.
I wasn't thinking about looking for it. And then
we'll watch it a third.
We
ain't gonna watch this shit a third time.
One cool thing though, in retrospect, thinking about that scene, I also had something to say about the scene prior. But
That's
first,
fine.
I kind of want to say this is at that point where he shuts the door on her without explanation. From that point on in the film, he's kind of shut her out.
Oh yeah.
And so that was
shutting her out.
Yeah, but it's cool that after he physically does it, from that point on, their relationship goes downhill.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the scene before, one thing that I was thinking of, what was it actually? I kind of spaced what I was thinking of. It'll come back to me in a second though, so we can move on till then.
All right.
The way she died was really cool though. The critic.
Oh yeah, she died in a great way. I like that visible thing. It was kind of gory, but it was gory from afar.
Yeah, and
like you were someone.
Yeah,
like you were a neighbor watching in on that. And it's surprising that in Chicago skylight that nobody saw it.
That is also that relates back to the point you made, how it could have been Candyman. It also could have been him. Maybe it's not nobody there that we see doing it, but they choose creatively to not show us the person doing it so that it is left to the imagination.
Yeah. One thing, after all that, it starts getting a little wild for him. So he goes back to William Burke and he's just like, "Yo."
What the
And then that's what he's like, "Who is Candyman?" And William Burke's like, "Candyman ain't a he.
It's a collective.
He's the whole damn hive." I didn't think about this as much as I did this time. I'm going to think about how many times I've watched this.
4.
I want to say 4. This is my 4th time seeing
I'm psychic.
it. But you know what? I interpreted that in a way where Candyman isn't a he. Candyman is a problem at large. He's the whole damn problem of social injustice, and he's a creation of the problem. That's how I interpreted Hive.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a he, he's a bigger part of a bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of helps you think about the movie. Think about what's going on a little bit better. It just says Hive because Candyman and the Bees is from the first one, so you just think that. But Hive can be interpreted in a different way, and that's how I interpreted it at that time. And it kind of helped thinking about what was going on.
Yeah, make a little more sense of the plot.
Yeah, it totally did. I really liked that. Also, in the first one, there's not much origin on Candyman,
which is kind of a cool creative choice to make for a movie because it leaves like the options seemingly endless for a sequel.
Yeah.
You can then take what you've created
There are
and
sequels.
spin it any way.
They did do sequels. They did 2, which is really...
Wait, this isn't the first?
No, this is not the first sequel that has been done. Tony Todd's in the other 2, like the original Candyman.
Wait, so there's 3 Candyman movies total?
4.
4, so 3 and then this?
See, this is what I would call a requel. And what a requel, it's kind of a new trendy thing where they create a sequel to an old movie, and instead of calling it Candyman 2, they just call it Candyman. Or they did it with Halloween. In 1978, they made Halloween, but after that, they made a bunch of them. But in 2018, they made another one. We're going to forget all those other sequels and just make Halloween, which is a spiritual sequel to the first OG one. So it fucks with the timeline. That's what this did.
This fucked with the
This
timeline?
says there is no Candyman 2. There is no Candyman 3. Thank God, because those movies are fucking trash. They're really bad.
Spoiler alerts for everyone, including me, but like what was done in 2 and 3 that becomes null and void because of this one?
Nothing, really.
So
Nothing
it doesn't
really.
throw them in the trash?
No, they're just bad movies.
But there was
No, it just takes them out of the timeline. It's like they never happened. Like
Are
this is a sequel to the first one.
Those events wouldn't be canon in the universe of the new one?
Yeah.
Like what events occurred that
I don't remember. I haven't
You
seen
haven't-
those movies in a while. I don't think I've ever even seen the third one.
the
Thank
second
God.
was so bad you didn't bother?
It wasn't too terrible. It's worse than this one.
What would you give that one out of 5?
2.
Candyman 2 gets a 2.
Yeah. But they're called requels, and they're making a lot of them, which I like that they're doing because both of them are good. Candyman was enjoyable. Halloween was awesome. So I like
Is
them.
the new Halloween a sequel to that Halloween?
Yes. To the requel Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's going to be a trilogy.
A requel sequel.
Yep. There's going to be a trilogy, actually. Halloween.
That's kind of a spoiler alert.
Halloween.
You know he don't die.
Halloween Kills, and then Halloween. What's the other Halloween called? I don't. The third one. It's coming out next
Halloween
year.
Buffalo Bills.
It's coming out next year. But I think William Burke also says Candyman is the way we deal with things that happened and that are still happening. So is Candyman even fucking real? Like they're playing on is Candyman real and Candyman isn't real. Like they're playing on it big time in this film, which is cool because they did it in the first one, and you don't know if Helen's going crazy or if she's actually Candyman or if there is a Candyman killing all these people around her. But
now it's kind of the same as
he
Anthony
says
going crazy.
things like even William Burke says things that could be interpreted as Candyman is just a story of us coping with social injustice and us taking out revenge for that injustice, which he does. He's like Candyman's like a fucking superhero, if you will, because like he
Like
killed
a
the
vigilante.
yeah,
kinda.
vigilante in a way, like an Avenger. Where he's just
Yeah.
like avenging all these social injustices by reincarnating of these dead people and fucking going on mass murder, like cop killing spree. Which, hey, that's awesome. I fuck with that. But I love her brother and her boyfriend and his boyfriend. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I like them as characters. They
They're
were really
cool.
like
The little
well
dicky.
done. And one detail that I thought was kind of cool. There's a line where what was the brother's name?
Troy.
Troy. He was like, he said something along the lines to his boyfriend. He's like, black people ain't summoning shit. And there was only one scene in the movie where they did. Like, it was a predominantly white thing to summon.
Oh my God!
Candyman.
Every time. That's what they even said. I really liked. Okay, the only reason why I'll deal with the scene where the girls fucking do it. The brother is in the room because he fee-fi-fo fummed, and they're not doing so well because he had a little rage because he's going fucking wacko tobacco.
He broke the mirrors.
So
that
she's talking with his brother, and he's like, "You can stay here as long as you want, as long as you don't summon Candyman." And she goes, "Who would do that?" And then the scene literally changes to crazy white bitches that end up doing that. Who would do that? These crazy fucking white bitches. these fucking basic ass white bitches that are dumb as fuck and end up getting killed. Like, I just think that's funny.
And it now that you painted in the picture of the of him like avenging the wrongdoings. In that same scene, there was a black girl in the bathroom stall that came in too, and they kind of like bullied her after they said the Candyman thing. They all like they were making fun of her for being drunk at a party, I believe. 'Cause
Yeah.
when they first went in the bathroom, they watched a video of her making fun of her. She comes in, goes into the stall. They all start like bullying her, and then she, with their headphones on, watches Candyman kill them.
Right.
And did Candyman kill him or did she? Like, you painted it like maybe after all that bullying,
I don't think she
snapped.
killed them.
Who
But
killed
you
them?
have a good point.
The window opened. Did someone come through? Like, if
Maybe
Candyman
Candyman's
doesn't
real.
exist.
Yeah, if he didn't.
Yeah, if
who
he
did kill
if he
him?
didn't
Anthony
exist,
wasn't
who
there.
would?
There's probably cameras in that school.
Not in the bathrooms.
Oh yeah, true. But they would have to have some kind of surveillance of Anthony entering.
Yeah,
He did do it.
yeah. That
So.
could be why they came after him. After it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe,
But in that same scene too, there was a little Asian girl that after the third Candyman,
yeah.
she dipped. She's like, I'm out of here.
She's smart. She
Yeah.
was smart.
it really
She
don't-
survived.
She did.
Just being smart. Hey, if any kind of situation happens, remember the rules of a horror movie. Watch Scream. They'll give you the
Yeah,
rules.
they lay that shit on the line and they break every rule.
Right. They all die. Nah, but for real.
Still watch Scream no matter what. That shit's phenomenal.
And-
Speaking of which, 25th anniversary one I want to
Oh
go
yeah,
to.
I didn't tell this to the other people. I didn't tell this to anybody because we just talked about it. So Frederick Regal is doing a screening of Scream for the what anniversary?
25th or 35th? Something fifth.
It's not 35th.
Then yeah, 25th.
25th anniversary of Scream, and I think that's why it's coming out on 4K. It drops on 4K October 19th.
I want to see that. We can even re-talk about it if you
Yeah.
want to.
Oh
I'd
man,
be
I
down.
fucking love. I want to watch the third one and review it.
Yeah, we only have done the first two so far. I
Yep.
thought maybe we did do the third.
Nope, you've never seen the third one.
But there's 5.
There's 4. Fifth
Four.
one's coming out in January.
So yeah, we definitely have to finish them by then. Spooktober started early for us, so I'm down.
So
to
we got
watch 'em.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
But
Where
yeah.
were we in this film though? The girls get murdered in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's where one of the scenes where I really liked the angles where one of the
Oh,
girls
it was
gets
shot
fucking-
amazingly.
One of the girls
Yeah.
gets massacred and drops her makeup thing that has the mirror, and the mirror points to the kills basically. So the girl in the bathroom stall through that mirror watches the killing of those girls. I was about to say her friends. I guess the term would be peers because they clearly weren't very friendly to her.
No,
but
they were fucking assholes.
Then the scene though that I was talking about where the girls are on the ground looking through the mirror from under a stall and they see a little bit of blood drip and then a decent amount of blood drip, then it fucking pours.
Oh yeah, that shit was wild.
That was a really cool scene.
It was
I liked
cool
that
because it
one.
let me imagine what the fuck he did to her.
Yeah, like
That shit was actually pretty cool.
I really liked that scene.
What is it? Was that realistic at all?
Probably not. I feel like way too much blood.
Which is
like,
good. Which is fine. That's
But-
fine.
Yeah, it looked fucking brutal. I liked it.
It did look pretty cool. But I kind of put away my notes. But the next scene, his mom calls. He arrives at his mom's house. His mom's like, "Don't say that."
Yeah.
Her name's Vanessa Williams, the actress. She looks phenomenal. She's in the first one. I think she looks better in this one than she did the first one.
She was pretty cute. She was showing a little cleavage too.
Was she? I didn't notice that.
Some left side boob
You're
showing.
fucking stupid. But she looked great, and then she explained it to Anthony why he's so attached to this.
Previously, I think a scene we skipped over. He was at the hospital and finds out that
He was born
in
there.
the
Yeah.
area that he did.
He
He's
wasn't
like,
from
"But
the
I'm
South
from the
Side. South Side, worldwide. Shout out Kanye.
Yeah. So, and then he goes to his mom because he's like, "What the fuck? This bitch lied to me. You gotta tell me what happened, woman." And she lays
Now
it down
he's
for him.
suspicious. He's sus.
He's like, "Why? Why
And
would
then
you
she's
lie to
like,
her?
and,
What happened?"
and then she confirms his suspicion and was like, "Yeah, you the baby. You that baby everyone talking about." Well, William is. No one else is. Or
Oh,
no,
the
his
brother did
mom's the
too.
brother. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, everybody's talking about this. But you the baby. And gets really different now.
I also just noticed another scene we looked over was the elevator scene when he gets the records
Great
on
scene.
Helen.
Shot.
That one was
fucking-
so
dude, Nia
well
DaCosta
done.
fucking kills.
I think that's the first scene where he sees himself as Candyman also.
I think Nia DaCosta as a director is like almost perfect. Like she shot this scene, these scenes fucking beautifully.
I agree. It was done
so
very, very
great.
well.
So well. The writing could have been a little better.
But I guess they just min-maxed in the
directorial part.
yeah.
Yeah, they did all they could. But not saying I didn't like the movie. I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed it. But yeah, so that happens. He goes to his mom's. She confirms. He gets all pissed. Then his mind just goes downhill from here. Actually, he disappears after this scene. You don't even fucking see him again, right? Because who the fuck?
Yeah, I think
someone
cuts
abducted
to her
this motherfucker
trying
to look for this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because he's gone. He's
What
out.
was her name again?
He just
Brianna?
what do you say? What did you say in that one podcast episode? You said he dipped out the cut or whatever. What the fuck you said?
I don't even remember which one that was.
I don't remember either. It was
But
just
yeah,
funny.
he definitely dipped. He's like, I'm out. And then she went
No,
to
he got
find him.
abducted.
You think he got abducted?
William took him.
You don't think he went to William?
He might have, but William took him. Either way.
He definitely abducted her.
Which is weird. Why did William do that? The only reason why I think William would do that, the quote was funny when he abducted Brianna. He says, "Yeah, I'm on some other shit now. This is getting a little out of hand now." He even admits I'm on some other shit. He knows he's being crazy. But is he having conversations with Candyman? I feel like this guy's talking to Candyman at this point.
Is Candyman how they describe themselves going insane?
But dude, there's so many interpretations of Candyman. Is that another pun where Candyman isn't one Candyman? There's a lot of others, but also a lot of interpretations of Candyman. Like there's Candyman isn't just this entity that's killing people, but it's also this and this and this.
Yeah,
and
you
this.
You can almost, there's a collective of different ways you could look at it.
Yeah. Actually, dude, we're solving this movie
Also,
right now.
During a couple of the scenes towards the end after the kidnapping, when he's at the church staring and they cut to Anthony, you hear like voices kind of in his head.
Yeah.
Candymen being a collective could be a way that you describe insanity because you hear like a plethora of voices telling you what
It's
to do.
getting a
Those
little
voices
chilly.
could be the
This fire
Candyman.
is actually keeping me toast.
Yeah, the rest of my body's fine except my legs because I'm in shorts, but the fire is keeping my legs feeling good.
Yeah, it's nice.
This
Thank
is the
you.
meta. This is the new meta for
our horror movies.
podcast.
We're not gonna do
horror
it every
movies.
time. This is a lot of work. That's a lot of wood to burn. We got lights
Next
here.
summer
This
during
is a lot.
summer ones, we got to do them at a lake or something summery.
Ooh, yeah, like 1978.
Do you want to build snowmen behind us for the winter ones?
No, I don't. I don't like the cold.
Damn.
You like the
This
cold?
guy. I'm indifferent on it. Actually, I
really
like
care?
the cold more than the heat because you can put on layers, whereas it can only get too hot
You
and I
can't
can't
walk
take
around
my
naked.
skin off. Even if I could walk around naked, if I'm hot and naked, then what? I can't start peeling my skin off like a potato peeler.
But now that William took him, it seems like he was chosen to be Candyman because he was the baby.
I guess
so-
William chose him.
No, Candyman chose him.
Candyman chose William too.
I guess
William's the
But
only
that's not
person
even what
that
I'm
saw
talking about.
Candyman. We didn't. I don't think we went over that scene either.
What?
The scene where William sees Candyman without
Yeah, I did.
summoning him.
No, I did say that he had firsthand experience with Candyman.
No, we talked about when he saw him come out of the hole in the early beginning, but I don't think we went in
wasn't
depth about
Candyman
the
then.
scene where his siblings
got
said,
gutted.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
siblings said Candyman 5 times and got fucking slaughtered.
Yeah, that's what they get.
They should have let him come in and do it too. He could have died, and then
He would've
Anthony'd
died
be
too.
Fine.
And this whole movie would have been different.
Yeah.
That would have sucked. I just don't get. I guess he was destined to be Candyman because he was the baby, and Candyman in the first one takes the baby and basically chooses him, but then Helen takes him from Candyman, and
Now Candyman takes him back.
but someone brought him back. And did Anthony summon him back, or did William bring him back?
I don't know. I think technically the first instance we see of this new era of Candyman being back was when because of Anthony's artwork, the art critic and that girl summoned him. So maybe Candyman was
You
brought
said
back
that.
by
You said that during the Fear Street podcast. You called it Candyland.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But anyway,
That's a game, right?
it's a board game.
That's a good board game too. Shout out Candyland.
I haven't played in like 20 years.
I don't know the last time I played. I ain't counting.
It's a board game. I like board game. I like
Games you
having
play
little
when you're
family
bored.
nights Emma pretends to want to play, and then
Doesn't.
30 minutes later she gives up.
I played Yahtzee with Grandma and Jace the other day.
Really?
Dude,
That's
I shit on
awesome.
them. My first roll, I got a Yahtzee.
Really?
Thanks for coming
You're a
out.
dick.
Yeah, dude, I'm a
God damn.
monster at Yahtzee. I play
God damn.
Yu-Gi-Oh, so I be rolling dice all the time.
Right.
I
You
got
know
that
how to
shit.
do it. You're
I'm
a fucking
locked
cheater.
and loaded.
That's why you always go first. Oh man, this pumpkin ale is something else. Spooktober, baby.
Whoop, whoop.
But basically, William Burke abducted these motherfuckers, and I like how he uses laundry as a metaphor for everything. Washing the stain out, cycles.
I feel like that's something that a lot of people do. Not use laundry as a metaphor, but
filmmakers.
or things that I mean in real life. Like
Oh,
I know
right.
so the way that like he uses laundry as a metaphor, I find myself doing that too. Like with Yu-Gi-Oh, I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh,
you do it
and,
on
like,
the podcast almost every time.
Yeah, so like I feel like
Which is fine.
That's kind of a way that almost everyone, at least in my experience,
If something's like big in their life, they do it.
yeah, they can use what they know best to comprehend other
True.
events. That
But
happen
laundry's
around
really
them.
good with that. Not saying other things aren't, but laundry's really good.
Almost everything makes for a decent.
Yeah,
metaphor,
you're right.
honestly.
You're right. You could do it with anything. I just like how he does it with laundry.
Yeah, he does do it well, and it's kind of cool. And laundry is something we all understand too. Like if you were to use a movie with me using Yu-Gi-Oh analogies, most people wouldn't really understand what I'm saying, but we all comprehend laundry terminology. So it's a good one for the public too.
Yeah, I see that. So we're at the end. Cops swarm in. He calls it the swarm. I like that because it's play on the bees, like the Candyman and the bees.
Mm-hmm.
The swarm. They shoot an unarmed man who's not even approaching them. He's just laying down, and they shoot him because he got tipped. I guess William tipped him off because they said someone tipped him off.
Do you think it was William?
Who else would it be?
William's plan could have been to have him die and then.
That was his plan.
Yeah,
He said
was
that.
even
He said
saying
that.
it. Yeah, once I said that out loud, it clicked.
He
too.
said that was his plan.
They caught the girlfriend because they needed a witness. William said, "Now we have a witness." And before he started doing what he did to Anthony, he called 911.
Okay, so it was William? Yeah, so William did tip him off.
Why did William want a witness?
I don't know. Why did he need a witness?
Like,
That was kind of... He doesn't need a witness. Why don't he just get killed? Was there a witness to Tony Todd's
was it to have someone to
Candyman
tell
die?
an alternate story of that of the cops? To have something to go against what they
I
say?
guess so.
Because
Yeah.
the cops paint Helen in the bad light, but Anthony's mom is at least a character that
Would fight for him.
they can paint it differently. Be like, no, that
But
shit was
she was
Candyman.
actually there and would paint it differently.
Yeah, and so now we have Brianna there
So that made sense.
to be the role of.
This is where the movie starts getting really good.
And
I think
it was confusing at this point. This is when stuff stopped making sense to me.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of threw me off.
I think it starts getting good because we start it's like we finally get to see Candyman, and we finally get to see Candyman speak, and we finally get to see Tony Todd. So, and then he kills all the people. It's pretty much trying to sum all these points that they've been taking an hour and a half to talk about and putting them to get together. So they literally took like an hour and 20 minutes telling you what the fuck was going on, and then they kind of just
Threw it at you.
Threw it at you. So you're getting all these points at once. So I understand why you, like anyone, like the first couple times I saw it, I said, okay, this just got wild.
Yeah, almost like a sensory overload.
Yeah, I think that is what happened. And maybe this movie should have been longer.
It could have been a 2-hour film.
Yeah,
I
I think
would be
this movie
upset
should
with
have been
that.
probably longer, and maybe they should have cut the basic white bitches dying out of it because it literally didn't.
I like that
further
part. So the more we talked about it,
we
I think
liked the part. It was cool and entertaining, but it didn't help the plot at all. 0%, none. It didn't have to be in the film. It could have been a deleted scene. You could have watched it at home.
It depends, I think, on the angle that you take on what you think Candyman is.
I
If
guess
if
so.
he is actually not Candyman, and he's like a mass murderer, it kind of throws me off plot wise because it's like, then who came in and did this? Because Anthony was like potentially there for all the other kills. But if you looked at it like through that social justice light, it made sense to me.
I wish the ending was longer.
I definitely do too. It was like, but I don't know what they could have added to like
Make it longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
true.
that's why I
wish.
don't write
Okay,
film.
let me rephrase. I didn't wish the ending was longer.
But-
I wish the way the ending was happened more often. Seeing more of Candyman rather than Anthony. This movie should have been called Anthony. Because we barely see Candyman, and Sherman's kind of forgettable, but at the end we see all of them, and then we hear his voice, which we waited till the end of the movie to hear this voice. In the first one, his voice is hypnotizing. Like, it's like a sexy, hypnotizing trance when he talks. Helen's like, they missed that in this one completely. That's not in this at all. They literally...
Candyman, when we see him, or
he's
like
not,
kind of see him kill, he's
not,
silent.
Yeah, he doesn't talk. He's forgettable. He's like, the only thing cool about him is that when he smiles, he's kind of fucking creepy.
And that he kills.
And he kills, and he didn't put the razor blade in Candy. Someone else did. And he was killed in Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go through, his face turns into all the other Candymans, and then like the bees are swarming around him, and then it goes to the infamous, iconic Tony Todd, and he says, "Tell everybody," and then it ends.
Do you think that's then why they wanted the witness?
I don't know, possibly, because I think that Candyman isn't powerful unless people talk about him. Kind of like he thrives on the urban legend aspect of it, and there can be no Candyman if no one says his name in the fucking mirror.
Mm-hmm. He, at the end of the day, still needs to be summoned because of the weird claws that he has.
Which is something they should talk about more. I feel like the extra 20 minutes they could have added to this film, they probably could have went on that a little more. The summoning part.
You say his name 5 times.
The summoning part. Because in the first one, you get no backstory on Candyman almost at all in the first one, which is cool that they brought some backstory to that Candyman, to the Tony Todd character, which is cool because I didn't know any of that shit. But I think it just ended a little abruptly. I would have liked to see more Tony Todd. I didn't think Tony Todd was going to be in it at all.
And then they just give you a little tease at the very end,
which is fine. But I think there should have been more Candyman in the Candyman film. Yes, Anthony turns into a Candyman, but I think that it should have been more Candyman still.
So like more scenes of him killing, or more,
yes,
like in depth.
All the above. You don't think Candyman should have been in the Candyman movie?
I don't.
I think he should have been in the Candyman movie, but the new Candyman, I feel like, because I've seen both, I feel like it talks more about like the story of Candyman.
Yeah,
Or
you
origin.
literally spend an hour and a half learning about the story.
Well, Anthony learns too, though, which is kind of
yeah,
cool.
that is cool, but I think it takes so long to get to it. Like, you're to go into this whole movie learning about what the fuck's going on in this film, and then at the end, what the fuck's going on lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there could have been like
just a little more.
a little bit more than that, and maybe like maybe speed up the telling us what was going on part. But I enjoyed it.
I think I agree with the first half. Definitely there could have been more, but I kind of like the pacing of how they explained it. It just proportionally seemed like way too much because of the fact that there's not more candy after. Like, give us an extra 20,
I could
30
go for
minutes.
some candy right now.
I couldn't. There's probably razor blades in it.
That happened one time.
Still.
That is an urban legend in itself. The whole, you know how like your mom or your family members probably said, "Hey, we
gotta
should check
the
your candy." It
yeah.
happened one time in history.
No,
Once.
actually, Insane Clown Posse wrote a song about it. I think that's why people check it.
No one heard it.
I heard it.
They
I'm
didn't get-
someone asshole.
Sorry.
Get shit on.
But yeah, this is a cool movie. It was entertaining. I liked it. I liked what they did to Candyman because it's their own. This is low key. Interpretation is a word that's being used a lot, but this was their interpretation of Candyman because the first Candyman isn't this into the social injustice, vigilante, and making things right and interpretation on everything. It's their own interpretation on an interpretation.
If
you know what I mean?
Candyman
Like
was
they
in
played
a
on that a
different
lot.
neighborhood, it could be a lot different.
Exactly, it could
Based
be.
on
It
the
probably is.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good movie. And now that we're talking about it, if the screenplay was shot a little well, it could easily have been a 4.
I think for me it's a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3.5. Can I do that?
If you go
Every time I do decimals, because I'm not neutral on it, but I don't think it's a 4, because I'll give the first one a 4.
if I were to use a decimal, I'd say 3.5, but I don't think that if I'm just picking a whole number, I'm giving it a 3 because it's not a 4.
It's not a 4.
And
But it was shot. Cinematography gets a 5. It was a beautiful film. Writing probably a 2 or 3, and then overall 3.
yeah,
0.5.
I think I'd align with almost the same on everything there.
Or is there anything that you said that you liked that you didn't discuss yet?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
kind
it'll haunt me
of
tonight when I'm
talked
trying
more
to
than I
sleep.
thought we were going to, but I did take a lot of notes though.
And we watched it twice. There's just a lot
Yeah.
more. And
This is my
it's
4th.
this movie's open to interpretation.
Dude, this movie should have been called Interpretation. It
Which
was really good.
it's cool. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it the most probably the last time I watched it, the 4th time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not changing it because it's definitely not a 4.
Yeah.
So
too many amazing films I put at a 4 because I didn't think they were enough to be a 5.
You put Dazed and Confused at a 4 first.
And that's a very good movie. I wouldn't call this Dazed and Confused level
well,
good.
you changed it to a 5.
I still, definitely not Dazed and Confused level good then.
I think you'll like Shaun of the Dead. We should watch that. I say that every fucking podcast and we never watch it.
Yeah, we keep not doing it.
What's that movie called?
Shaun of the Dead?
It was a joke.
Oh.
But yeah, Shaun of the Dead. It's made by the guy that did is doing Last Day in Soho. This was his first film. Shaun of the Dead.
We can watch it sometime before that one then. Try to get it in.
No, I was gonna watch them all and then watch that.
How many
and
does he
rank
have
his
again?
films. For this, Last Day in Soho would be 5.
So we'd have to try to get all those in before like October 10th. I think it came out.
October 18th.
Oh, is it 18th?
might
That
be
gives us more
18th.
time. But are all his films horror? Will it fit
No,
with our
yeah,
our
kind of. He has
Spooktober,
one horror-related
sprint?
film. That's it.
Is that the one coming out, or is that
No,
Shaun
Shaun
of
of the Dead, which is not just horror. It's
We should at
horror.
least do that one then for sure before that other one comes
Yeah,
out.
because we could do Last Night in Soho and then do Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, and then
the
it'll
other
be
ones.
towards the
Yeah,
end
yeah,
of
yeah.
Spooktober anyways.
We'll do that.
Maybe get one more spooky boy in and then hop onto that ship.
Yeah, but
I'm really in the fucking horror movie vibe though.
yeah,
After-
Matt, I saw Matt today. Did I tell
Hell
you
yeah,
that? I was
where
at Matt's house a little bit today.
good shit.
And,
After he put me on to Fear Street, dude.
yeah,
I
he
just,
said he literally said, "Yo, Zade is obsessed with that movie."
it's good. I was we were all hanging out at Sean's house, and I had texted you that night asking for your Netflix, but you were asleep. Everyone was
I've
starting
been
to
going
like,
to bed early as fuck.
I'm
man.
working on getting back to sleeping early, but I wasn't sleeping
You
early
are,
that
you
night.
are ever and
And,
the last couple podcasts it'd be 9 o'clock. You'd be like,
Yeah. But I was at Sean's house, and everyone was getting ready for bed. Some people leaving, and I was like, "Yo, I need Netflix right now. I want to watch Fear Street Part 3. I want to watch it." So I fiended until I got a Netflix account, logged that shit in,
That's
watched it till I
hilarious.
went to sleep. It's so
I
good,
can't
and
wait
now
till
I'm
I
in the
get
spooky
reliable
vibes.
internet out here. Now you guys, like I keep talking about that I live in the fucking sticks. Now y'all know.
Also, if you remember last year around this time, I wasn't really feeling the spooky shit.
You,
And then we
you
also-
were
certain ones.
Scream got you into
yeah,
it,
but
you started deteriorating.
It
You
had to
started
be
getting
things
on
that I was like
fatigue.
genuinely like really intrigued in, which Scream was it. But this, like Candyman, like I said, it was a 3, but it didn't like lower my excitement to watch more horror
Yeah.
films at all. Like
Good.
I'm feeling Spooktober this
Good,
time.
good. That's great. I actually have a podcast that I'm about to start with our man Daryl. He's in our what did we review? Scream 2. with him?
Yeah, Scream
We did
with
Scream
him, I
2
believe.
with him, and I'm doing a podcast with him called Carnage Candy. It's just horror.
Do you guys have a starting date planned yet?
Soon. The local artist doing our podcast work just gave me how much it's going to cost me for
Hell
him to do
yeah.
the work.
I want to get.
He's
on
only
there
charged
one
me
time.
$50.
Good shit.
That's not bad. He's like a local artist. He does like art for like beer companies here.
That's kind of lit.
Yeah, and he's done a couple comics with my man. Pat.
Yeah,
He's a
shout
good
out Pat.
artist. Fucking $50?
Yeah,
That's really cool, man. I'm really excited about that.
It's a good deal for him too, because then when the podcast takes off, his art's being
His art's
shown.
out online with the fucking 4 people that are gonna see it.
And then the 6, and then the 10, and then the 20, and then the 80.
How's your YouTube doing?
159 subs right now.
Dude, you had like 97 last time we talked.
It'd be going. It'd be going.
Awesome, dude.
I did
And
a
it's cool
podcast
that
today
that
with
new
a guy with
that's
1.1K.
smart because that's gonna get your channel up.
And I like made a new friend while doing it too, which I think is like
that's-
almost more important even for like just looking at it content growth wise.
It is.
Like that's a new creator that I'm
That's
going
a
to be
new
able to
network.
like work with. Yeah, just a
Yeah.
little note in my network.
Shout
of
out to
people.
that guy.
Another bee
Who
in
is
my
it?
hive. His name's Yada on YouTube.
Yada Lock, baby.
Yeah, that's what his thing's named after. He ran a
Nice.
tournament today called Yada Locked. He hosted a tournament in his Discord, and the
Yo,
title of the
let's get a
tournament is Yada Locked.
2003 tournament going.
I would be. Zach is making a Discord
know.
for that kind of
Is
stuff.
he?
Yeah.
Cool. I told him I was already making the deck.
Hell yeah.
But all right,
Is
3.5.
that, 3 here.
We got real deep in it this time. That was like a 27-minute one because we felt rushed. But this time,
Now this is
we
why
went
I don't
deep
like
into
feeling
Candyman.
rushed, because like we just find things to talk about.
this is a
So,
lot better.
Before we close though, thank you guys for watching. Make sure if you're
Like-
on YouTube, you like and
Like and
subscribe.
subscribe, baby.
Let us know your opinions on this film in the comments section below. And if you're watching this not on YouTube, first and foremost, why are you not on YouTube? There's video and audio.
Yeah, you
Two
can see the
things
great
versus one.
fire right
Yeah,
here.
you miss out on a campfire. I have my leg up the whole time. You get to see my
What
hairy
socks
leg.
are you fucking wearing, dude? What the
SpongeBob. I don't know
Oh,
if you can
fuck
see that on
yeah.
the camera, but see, you guys just missed the whole leg show if you're only listening to the
Damn.
audio. But subscribe on whatever audio platform you're on. I don't know how that stuff works. I use YouTube like a man.
Yeah,
But,
I'm obsessed with
thank
it.
you guys for watching. You got any final words?
Not really.
All right, take it easy, motherfuckers.
We'll be back for Malignant.
Whoop whoop. That was fun.